Hi, everybody, and welcome to the fourth week of 12 Weeks of Christmas. I'm Kathi with Simply Cards by Kathi, and today is Friday, October 18th, 2024, and I have a fun card for you. Today we're going to be using the Decorative Trees Bundle, and I paired it up with the Distressed Tile 3D Embossing Folder. So let me flip this camera down and show you the card, and we're going to get started. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you found me. I hope you'll like what you see. And if you're with me live or on the replay, thank you so much for your support and being with me. I really enjoy my time with you. Let's show you the card. Okay, the card today is, I'm calling it May Your Days Be Merry. This is from the Decorative Trees Bundle. And hopefully you can see there's a lot of texture in this card. Really a lot of design that was easy to do. And I'm going to show you how I did that. So we're going to get started. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for joining. So I am using, let me just show you the Decorative Trees Bundle. We're going to be using this stamp to make some of our own designer paper. And then we're going to be using this greeting. What I love, and this is probably one of my favorite Christmas stamp sets. Hi, Mary, and thank you for joining all the way from the Netherlands. And Wendy from Winnipeg. I love these detailed dies that you can cut and really decorate the trees. The ones I'm using today is this main die, and we're going to be doing a lot more with this stamp or set and dies, the bundle, and I'm using this one. So let's move this out of the way and we're going to get started. I am starting off with a standard card base, and I am using basic white thick. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. We're going to go ahead and fold this, and I'm just going to give it a good crease with my bone folder. Now, for my second layer, I'm using shaded spruce, and I will have the measurements. There'll be a download of it for a PDF tutorial by tomorrow at the end of the day. But I wanted to kind of do something a little different for this layer. So I'm going to use my tree, and I'm going to use the shaded spruce ink pad, and we're going to add some trees to this. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. Excuse me. And typically excuse me again. I'm going to ink that, and we're going to start off by adding just one tree in the middle. And I just want to give it a good press. And then I'm going to keep re-inking and kind of go around the cardstock. And this is tone on tone. So it's just going to add a little bit. Let's add something here. And I'm going to come on over here and add some more. But it's just a nice way to kind of add to your own paper. And it just is going to leave a nice border all the way around. Let's bring that down. And I'm just going to add a little bit here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's close this up. And this is going to be layered on a piece of basic white. Now, this card has lots of layers. I don't know if you noticed that when I showed it to you, but I wanted really traditional, and I chose the shaded spruce, but then I also chose a piece of 5 by 4 1/4 of just basic white, and I embossed it with the Distressed Tile Embossing Folder. I just love that folder. It's just such a classic design that I thought it would really look pretty for Christmas cards. So I'm going to go ahead and use my multi-purpose glue, which I often do when I have an embossed layer, because it gets in those cracks and crevices and kind of holds down the edges. I don't like when my edges pop up, and this seems to help hold them down. So I want to just get a good border all the way around and scoop that up just a little bit. There we go. And that should be good. All right. Make sure I get those edges so that they lay flat. And I must have had some ink on my hands, but that's going to be covered because our next layer is going to go down and it's going to be these trees. And on top of that layer is another embossed white layer. So let's add this to the green and then we'll add the whole thing to the front of the card. So lots of layers, but lots of texture and lots of, I don't know, design. So let's move this over. And that was my whole purpose in stamping. I just wanted a little bit of an edge, that's kind of crooked there, of the Christmas trees showing through around the edge of that basic white layer. That looks better. So let's go ahead and add this onto our card base. Now you could do this with any of the trees. You could change up your colors. And we're going to add this right here. So these layers, the reason I don't remember the measurements, are a little bit different than typical. I used some templates that I have to come up with different measured layers. So there's our card front. Now we're ready to add a focal point. So I have chosen a tree in shaded spruce. And let me show you the die that I used. I cut out this die with the snowflakes in basic white. Now, I did do one where you can take a really fine tip glue pen and add to the different points, but I actually used our adhesive backing for this. So I went ahead and cut it out, and we're going to take the backing off and add that to our tree. So I'm going to grab my silicone mat here and move this out of the way. And I'm just going to grab a pick tool. So I've tried to start it here. And one of the things when you have these very detailed die cuts, is I find that sometimes you can't get the small pieces out, but often when you take the backing off from the adhesive, they'll come off with it. We'll see. So I'm just trying to be careful because this is such a fine cut and so thin. So I hope you have some fun plans for the weekend and you're able to get some crafting time in here. So you see, we got a good part of them out, but there's just a few left that I'm going to poke out here with my pick tool. Because once it's down, I won't get them out. So that looks pretty good. Let's just make sure they're out of the way. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and just lay this down at one point and work it all the way around. And because this will stretch, because it's so thin, I try to just work a little bit at a time to get it around. And here we have a little bit of backing. There we go. And then just gently work it around the edges. And it fits in place nicely. Okay, and here's another little pop out there that didn't come out. So that's the only thing with the detailed dies, is just kind of working to get those little pieces out of there. Like I said, a lot of times the adhesive backing will help take those off. Okay, and we're good. All right, now this is going to go on the center. Make sure that's adhered well and move this out of the way. I thought this would look really pretty popped up with some dimensionals, and then for us to add some adhesive rhinestones. I thought the rhinestones would be really pretty on this. So let's get these on here and pop this on. Okay, now I'm going to go to smaller, the minis, because I want to be able to get them right on the edge of my stems or branches, I guess we'll call them, for an evergreen. And I'm going to get this right up in here. And we're ready to put one more right here on the bottom and take these off. So have you started your Christmas cards yet, for those of you that make them? And do you have a favorite stamp set that you're using to make your Christmas cards? Let's put this right on the center here. Make sure it looks pretty even and straight. That looks pretty good. Now for my greeting, I chose the May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. And this, I believe I cut it with a die. You can just trim it to size. And the die I used was from Winterly Treetops, I believe. So if you have other dies for your sentiments, use those or just trim it to size. I tend to mix my my different stamps up together, and so that I can increase my greetings and all of that. There's that. Now for our inside, I have another piece of green, and I did emboss it, and we have a piece of white, and I wanted to stamp a greeting, and the greeting I'm using for this inside is from the greetings of the season. I chose to use May Your Holiday Season Be Filled with Warmth and Cheerful Celebration. So let's ink that up. And we'll give that, stamp that. You can see I've been working on trees the last couple days. And let's give that a good. Okay, and we'll adhere that to here and put that on our inside. Then we're going to add our bling to the front of our card. Seems to be the time of year to have bling. So let's add this. And again, you should have some pretty even edges with this. I have that crooked. Okay. Just bring that tip down a little bit. That looks good. And we'll put this to the inside of our card. All right, let's add this. And there's our inside. So for the front, I thought the rhinestones would be really pretty to add to the snowflakes and the tree. So I'm going to use the mostly the little ones. I've got two here. Let's move one out of the way. And I'm just going to pick them up with the tip of my pick tool here. Let's add one here. And do one here. Add one right up here at the top. And let's add a bigger one, a medium size, right here in the center of that snowflake. So that gives us 5. You could go beyond and add a few on the outside, which I think we're going to do. Let's see how that looks. So let's add one down here. Put one here. So here's our Christmas tree card. May your days be merry. Again, lots of layers, but you've made some of your own designer series paper for an accent point. You've added some texture with the die cuts being layered. So an easy card. Let me bring you back to me. I hope you enjoyed today's card for the 4th week of the 12 weeks of Christmas using the Decorative Trees Bundle. We'll be doing more with that in the upcoming weeks. I hope you have a safe weekend. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel. Feel free to share it. Thank you, Mary. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Have a safe weekend. Stay safe and well, and I'll be back with you on Monday evening at 7 p.m. Take care, everybody.